Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for the Samsung Galaxy M40. And this M40 is the latest version of smartphone in the new M series, and this one actually comes with the Snapdragon 675 SoC, which is the first for the M series a Snapdragon SoC. So in this review I'll break it down between the pros and the cons so that you can decide if this one is right for you or not. But before that, here are the quick specs for the M40, and as you can see, it's coming with the Snapdragon 675 SoC, has a 6.3-inch screen, comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and has a triple rear-facing camera setup. And the front-facing camera is a punch hole, and it has a 3500 mAh battery. So let's break it down between the pros and cons. First, let's talk about the pros, what I really like about this device. And first, the best thing that the Samsung has done is that they went with the Snapdragon 675 SoC on this one, and it's a very powerful processor and also a very power efficient processor, because initially I was very skeptical about the battery because it has a 3500 mAh battery, but I'm happy to say that due to the Snapdragon 675 SoC, everything runs without any issues. There is no lag or anything on this one. The performance is really good. Also, coming to the UI, it comes with the new One UI out of the box, and also comes with Android Pie out of the box, so that's actually a really nice thing. Now, moving to cellular reception, here also I'm happy to say that the cellular reception is actually really good. I tested this one with Airtel and Jio in Hyderabad, and I did not have any problems. In fact, in terms of cellular reception, I would say it's above average compared to most other mid-range smartphones. And even with Airtel in this room, this is a soundproof room, I was able to take calls with one. And obviously the Jio reception also, I did not have any problem. So that is actually good. Though the fingerprint scanner is okay, I would say not the fastest, but I noticed that it does not give any haptic feedback. So I hope with an update they enable a haptic feedback, because if it doesn't recognize, you just don't have an idea. So that is a minor con that I have. And again, as it's slightly on the slower side, takes about half a second, but as you can see, unlocks most of the time. Now, moving to the cellular call quality. This is not reception, guys. The cellular call quality was good. The thing is that it does not have a normal earpiece like other phones. In fact, the whole screen actually vibrates, and the earpiece like other phones. In fact, the whole screen actually vibrates, and that's how you get the call. And this might feel a little bit weird initially, but I quickly got adjusted to it. And I would say for the 90% of the times, the call quality was very clear and audible. I did not have a problem. But again, if you're new to this, we have seen this stuff in very high-end phones earlier, so it might take a day or two to get used to it. But after that, the cellular voice quality, the screen vibrates, and it's actually pretty clear for 90% of the time. Also, good thing is that it comes with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage, and I did not have any issues regarding the RAM management. The RAM management was done very well on this device. Now, moving to the gaming, as it has the Snapdragon 675, the gaming performance was also very good. I tested it with PUBG and it played it without any issues. Now, moving to the battery, initially I was very skeptical because it has that 3500 mAh battery, and we are seeing smartphones having 4000 and even 5000 mAh battery. But due to the Snapdragon 675 SoC, the battery life is actually pretty good, and even with dual SIM, it was easily lasting me for a full day. That is almost 24 hours without any issues. Yes, it's not like other smartphones that come with 5000 mAh battery that can last for about 2 days, but easily one full day without any issues. And in terms of screen on time, you can expect anywhere between about 4.5 to about 5.5 hours of screen on time. So the battery life is good. I would say not the best, but for 3500 mAh, I would say the battery life was good. Now let's move to the camera, and it has a triple rear-facing camera, as you can see, and the main camera is a 32 megapixel, and we also have a 8 megapixel for the wide-angle lens, and lastly we also have a 5 megapixel that is for depth. And as you can see with the sample shots, in outdoor conditions, I would say the camera performance is actually really good, but when we move to artificial lighting conditions, yes, I did notice a degradation in the quality of the photos. They became a little bit soft, as you can see, but nevertheless the camera performance was good. But in one area I felt it was slightly lacking, was in close-up shots. When I was trying to take up close-up macro shots, I found it to be difficult. It's not like you can't take them, but the focusing was an issue. So it's not the greatest for macro shots. I like the fact that we still have that wide-angle lens on this one, so it's a versatile camera. Now moving to the front-facing camera, it's that punch hole camera that you're getting, and it's a 16 megapixel shooter. And as you can see, for selfies, it does a pretty decent job. So overall, I would say the camera performance is good. But again, if you compare it with some other mid-range Android phones that are coming with the Sony 48 megapixel sensor, yes, those were slightly better. Shooting a video with the M40, and it's actually really windy, so again, not sure how will be the sound, but as you can see, guys, I'm just walking around and still shooting the video, and as of now it looks to be stable. Recording this video with the front facing camera of the Galaxy M40, and as you can see, I'm just walking around, and this is the audio that you'll get. Again, this is in outdoor conditions, as you can see. So these were the good things about this device. Now let's move to the cons and the things that I did not like. This handset is priced at about 20,000 rupees, and I find it very strange that Samsung decided to go with a TFT screen instead of an AMOLED or even IPS LCD screen. Don't get me wrong, the screen quality is not bad. The screen is good. I've watched a couple of videos on this and even half a movie, and it was fine. But when we compare it with AMOLED screens or even an IPS LCD screen, I would say Samsung should have put an AMOLED or IPS grade screen in this one. And also, in terms of maximum brightness, I would say it is not as bright as other IPS screens that we see. So if you just look at it, if you don't have other phones to compare, the screen quality is fine. But at this price point, I'm slightly disappointed with the TFT screen that we are getting. Also, as it's having that full view screen, we do not have any physical LED notification light on this one. And also, it does not have that earpiece, as I've mentioned. The screen actually vibrates, and that's how you hear. And it's fine for 90% of the time, I would say. But when the signal reception is very low from the other end and the sound gets muffled, then this vibration, of the screen, there I noticed that the call was not very clear. This happened only 5% of the time when the other parties had very low signal. Now, another thing that I simply do not like about this device is it does not have the 3.5mm headphone jack. I don't know why Samsung omitted it, but Samsung was one of those OEMs that used to give the 3.5mm headphone jack, and I sorely miss it. And also, now moving to the speaker, it has a single speaker here at the bottom, and it's fine, I would say. But most of the time when I was watching YouTube videos and stuff, I had to keep it at maximum volume. I just felt that the volume level could have been slightly better. So that is also something that you have to note. And I find it very strange that as of now, Samsung has only launched the 6GB RAM and the 128GB variant of this smartphone. They should have actually also launched the 4GB RAM variant at lower price point. But as of now, they haven't done that. And this sells at about 20,000 rupees. So considering the market around this one, so it's not a bad device to say, I would say. But considering the price point of 20,000 rupees, I do feel that Samsung has cut some corners. And also the back is that plastic polycarbonate back. I don't have a problem with that, but it's sort of a fingerprint magnet. So to summarize, I would say it's not a bad phone, but at 20,000 rupees, you're certainly paying that Samsung premium, that 15 to 20% premium for this device. And if you particularly really want a Samsung phone and you want good performance, then you can go with this one. But considering the competition, you are definitely paying sort of a premium for this one. Anyways, guys, that was my review of this Samsung Galaxy M40. If you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.